Going into the WWE Crown Jewel event on Saturday last week, I think we all kind of thought this could have been one of the stronger WWE Premium Live events of the year on paper. But really, outside of a couple matches, this card did not live up to the hype. To me, it was more of setting up Survivor Series. There was a lot of internal talk about WWE potentially turning this into an international WrestleMania. That certainly was not the case. Of course, Sami Zayn did defeat JD McDonough in a nice match on the kickoff show, which would storytell the rest of the evening. Where we kicked things off, and I was a little bit surprised that this match started the Premium Live event. And I think that was part of the issue with this Premium Live event is I did not love the placement of the matches. One of the rare times where I vehemently disagree with the placement of matches recently from WWE. I thought it really disrupted the flow of the whole event. That being Seth Rollins defending the World Championship against Drew McIntyre. I thought they'd do this later in the night after Damian Priest and Cody Rhodes had their battle, which if you watch my predictions video, I did predict that match, Cody Rhodes, Damian Priest, would kick off the show. They did not do it till the second last match of the night, which I thought it was a mistake. Again, I thought it took out the steam of Cody and Damian. I thought it made the finish of Rollins-McIntyre predictable. Nonetheless, Rollins and McIntyre had a fantastic match with, of course, Drew McIntyre focusing on the back of Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre hitting a Claymore kick along with multiple future shock DDTs on Seth Rollins. McIntyre kicking out of a curb stomp was unexpected. It, of course, took a pedigree and a curb stomp from Rollins to retain the World Championship. Again, awesome, phenomenal match. Really did, I thought, in a way you would think set the tone for the event. But in terms of match quality, maybe outside of the United States Championship match that we'll get to here in a little bit, nothing really ever came close to it. And I think sometimes it's really hard when you get to a Premium Live event is when you sort of peak at the beginning and you plateau in the middle. It's really hard to get up for that main event, even if it's highly anticipated, like one between Roman Reigns and LA Knight was. I had predicted Rollins win the championship. I predicted Damian Priest to ease a Money in the Bank cash-in, which he did, but then he was thwarted by Sami Zayn, and we did not see Damian Priest regain the Money in the Bank briefcase to, of course, last Monday night on Raw, which I thought it could have been, a running gag throughout the entire evening with Sami Zayn running away from Damian Priest. Maybe get Akira Tozawa involved, something like that, and you sort of have a chase game between Zayn, Priest / Judgment Day for that, Senor Money in the Bank briefcase. I thought that was a missed opportunity. What I thought was a nice little touch is Drew McIntyre immediately after the matchup being consoled by Rhea Ripley in the back before Ripley defended her Women's World Championship in the Fatal 5-Way that featured Zoe Starks, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Raquel Rodriguez. This match was a little bit better than I expected it to be. Of course, 5 very physical women, and I loved the finish between when, of course, Ripley had Zoe Stark up there on the top rope in a riptide, which, of course, allowed Ripley to bring it down on Raquel Rodriguez. It was pinning Nia Jax, and it allowed Ripley to pin Shayna Baszler, get all the women involved. I thought it was a very good, fast-paced Women's World Championship match. From there, we go to John Cena versus Solo Sikoa, and I was surprised a little bit that Jimmy Uso did not appear. Again, I don't know if it's because of his histories with DIY or not. Jimmy Uso did not appear in this match. I also thought it was interesting that Paul Heyman did not appear in this match as he was busy prepping the head of the table, the Tribal Chief, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, for his match with LA Knight. And the story they told here was Solo Sikoa being so dominant over John Cena, Umaga-like, with the Samoan spikes, delivering a total of 15 Samoan spikes to Cena. Of course, he attempted multiple throughout the matchup. Cena tried to dodge it. He even got an STF on Solo Sikoa, which Sikoa was able to escape quickly. But once he hit that one Samoan spike, which was almost like a punch, Cena was essentially out of it, and it really reestablished Umaga's old finisher and Solo Sikoa paying heritage to the bloodline with that Samoan spike, and again establishing Solo Sikoa as a major star going forward. Who knows with the writer's strike, the situation that's going to happen going forward with John Cena, if he's going to be back in WWE shortly, if he's going away for a while, if he's, never going to return, which is why I think they kind of left the door open for Cena to get that beat down. And hindsight is 2020. The whole talk of this match was Cena hadn't won a one-on-one match since the first time WWE had been in Saudi Arabia, since that first match that WWE had in Saudi Arabia, which was John Cena versus Triple H. I thought for sure, that Jimmy Uso would get involved, distract Solo, more tension in the bloodline. Cena ends up winning the match, but that was not the case as Solo Sikoa dominates, and now we see what's next for John Cena. Then we had a Miz TV segment that, of course, involved Grayson Waller and the actor from Saudi Arabia, which I'm not even going to try to say his name. Just a little comedy segment there before we got to the United States Championship match, which was a fantastic match between Rey Mysterio and Logan Paul. Now, I had predicted Logan Paul would win the United States Championship. I said, who knows, maybe they bring out brass knucks again, like he did with Ricochet at SummerSlam. And that's exactly what happened. A member of his entourage came down. Now, this time, Santos Escobar tried to stop it after really Rey and Logan Paul had a fantastic match. I keep saying it. I know a lot of people hate Logan Paul. There's a reason why they hate Logan Paul. He's a polarizing figure. He's one of the best quote-unquote celebrities, even though I put him in that tier with Pat McAfee as a celebrity. Maybe even you add Bad Bunny into this now as well, where they're not even celebrities. They're just big fans of WWE, and Pat and Logan specifically have had multiple matches dedicated to this craft, and Logan Paul is really turning into a special attraction. And with his social media following, getting the United States Championship up to the prestige that Gunther has out of the Intercontinental Championship right now on SmackDown, I think is amongst the most important, considering the fact the Undisputed Champion is not around every single week. So with that in mind, they did use the brass knucks against Santos Escobar, tried to stop it, but he ended up putting the brass knucks down on the ring apron, which allowed Logan Paul to grab them and use them as Rey Mysterio came down off the splash, off the 619. My real only complaint about the spot is I would have rather had Logan use it as Rey was swinging his legs and catch him in the face on the 619 instead of on the splash. But again, I thought it was the second best match of the evening outside of Rollins and McIntyre. Then we got to the Io Sky Bianca Belair match, which their match at Backlash this year for what was then the Raw Women's Championship was fantastic. This one was not. The crowd did not get into it. Bianca and Bayley's match the night before on SmackDown was way better, in my opinion. It was setting up for the spot for somebody to interfere. We saw Bayley interfere. I said in my predictions, I thought that, we were going to get Charlotte involved. We were going to get Asuka involved. That was not the case. What we did get, though, was Kairi Sane helping Io Sky retain the Women's Championship. The interesting part about this, and commentary made note about it, we know about, Bayley, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, their tension and damage control. The person that eliminated Kairi Sane from WWE way back in 2020 in the COVID era was Bayley when her and Sasha Banks were the Women's Tag Team Championships. Does that create even more of a divide in damage control? And the question here is, Io, Bayley, Kairi Sane, Dakota Kai probably isn't going to be cleared, but if you could get, let's say Chelsea Green and Piper Niven on the women's side. We know last night on the men's side on Raw, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, they will take on the Judgment Day in War Games. And we also know Rhea Ripley will defend the Women's World Championship against Zoe Starks. I'm wondering if they do a Women's War Game match, is it going to come from the SmackDown side of things, where you have Io, Bayley, Kairi Sane, and as I mentioned, maybe the Women's Tag Team Champions, going up against the likes of Asuka, Charlotte Flair, Shotzi, and, a couple of other women that they may get involved. And that is your Women's War Game match. Could be very interesting on that side of things. But then we get to the main event of the show, which of course featured LA Knight. Yeah, taking on Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Universe Championship. I gotta tell you, I know it's in Saudi Arabia. I know a lot of you fans are not in favor of the deal WWE has in Saudi Arabia. I completely understand that point of view. But the pop that LA Knight got in Saudi Arabia was one of the loudest pops I've ever heard. Probably more loud than a Stone Cold Steve Austin, a Rock, and Undertaker pop. It was absolutely unbelievable. And Roman Reigns really mocking LA Knight. And the story they told here was Jimmy Uso, who I mentioned did not come out for the Solo Sikoa John Cena match, came out here, was able to help Roman Reigns after LA Knight eventually put the BFT on Reigns. Roman would hit a spear for the barricade and another spear. It took 3 spears, which LA Knight was able to kick out of another one. It took 3 spears for the tribal chief, the head of the table, to put down LA Knight. Again, a lot of these championship runs now for Roman Reigns. We know Roman, when he gets in real danger, will probably be WrestleMania 40. Whether it's against The Rock or whether it's against Cody Rhodes, we do not know. But in the meantime, when you have these title defenses from the tribal chief, when you have a superstar as popular as LA Knight, yeah, you have to make them look the best that they can. I thought LA Knight came out like $1 million. I thought commentary played the fact that he got screwed very well. I think Michael Cole and Wade Barrett, since Pat McAfee has left, Cole and Wade, Cole and Corey, they just have this great dynamic. Michael Cole has really elevated his game on commentary. Of course, since Vince McMahon left the scene, but really ever since Pat McAfee came on after WrestleMania 37. I thought they did a great job selling the fact that LA Knight got screwed. It leaves a door for a rematch open down the line. We know Roman Reigns and AJ Styles still need to have their one-on-one match for the Undisputed Championship when AJ Styles gets back, which we all know will be phenomenal. So it sets up Roman Reigns with potential challengers down the line. And again, who knows? LA Knight to me is still a Royal Rumble candidate. Could he go over to Monday Night Raw? Could he face a Seth Rollins or whoever the World Champion might be at that point? Could Damian Priest throw this in your Money in the Bank? Who knows? I thought this show, again, did a good job of setting up Survivor Series, for the Women's World Championship, or potentially the Women's War Game match, for, everything going on in the Men's War Game match. That's what I kind of thought this show turned into. And then Roman Reigns having his big championship match in LA Knight, passing his first test. He's still as popular as ever. Yeah, and it sets up the future here with Solo Sikoa potentially looking down the line as the next tribal chief. Whenever that phase of the feud, Solo, Roman Reigns, wherever we get to. It was more of a setup show. Again, it was not a bad show. I thought it was really a B show. When you have B plus, A minus expectations going into it, it dragged a little bit in the middle. Definitely picked up at the end with the Reigns LA Knight match. But I thought what really hurt the show overall was the match card placement. I would have done Rhodes and Priest to kick off the show. Then the Women's Championship match in Bianca and Io. Then you have, your Cena Solo, your LA Knight, Rey Mysterio type matches. You get your Women's Fatal 5-way big action-packed match, and then your 2 biggest matches of the night, your 2 World Championship matches to close out the show. That's how I would have done it. Like that clip from the Brand's World Podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brand's World Podcast right here on YouTube.